Q&A session now for the welcome. And I think I did pretty good, to do the welcome in 4 minutes. People say, Mark, I don't think I've ever heard you just say something for 4 minutes. So it's good to have you here. Paul, welcome to the Q&A, to the welcome for the EC2 community, Engineer Clarity community. Thoughts, questions, anything you have?
Yeah, I'm curious about, so business makes sense. People, if it's understanding people, the profiling, I am a little curious about life in general.
So life is, if it doesn't fall into the other two, then it's life. The life is the natural laws. There's over 500 natural laws that have been discovered in the last 30-plus years. And so the life is the hardest to actually teach. The people side, the personality masteries, it's easy to teach. I mean, it's not so much a destination, it's a journey, so you'll always learn more and more. So there's 4 personalities, but then there's 65,536 possible combinations. So the more you know about any of these, the more you're going to know you don't know. But it's linear in how to teach it. The business, the 530 grid, the economic engine, your career, how do you succeed in a company? How do you deal with the politics, all of that kind of stuff? That can be business. But then life is, how do you have lifelong relationships? Like my wife and I, we've been married for 35 years. We have 7 kids. We have 5 grandkids, 3 sons-in-laws, a daughter-in-law. Life is getting very complicated for me. It's a lot more complicated than when I had 7 kids at home, 4 teenagers at the same time. Believe it or not, it seems to get more complicated. So life is stress, it's health, it's emotional intelligence, financial intelligence, social intelligence, educational intelligence. It's essentially how do you discover your life vision, in 20 minutes? And then how do you live that vision every single day? And so life, there is something, actually, that you'll be introduced to. And so there's a welcome and introduction. We just went through that. And then what can be accomplished in 7 seconds? What can someone know about you in 3 minutes? Asking questions from others. So there's a whole bunch of different topics. The secret about time, that would be also in the life area. And so how do you gain an extra 20 hours of free time a week? And so there's an entire online members only that you can go into the different areas, and there's new areas always, coming up. One of my favorite is Grandpa's Magic Couch, powerful thinking, so that's a really cool one. That's a favorite for mine. So there's new topics that are always being added here that go through that. Of the 500 natural laws, there's the library we talked about. There's psychology of people stuff that's pretty cool. Oh, there's a white paper library. And so there's different phases. So phase 1 is learning to think differently. So what's in it for me? How do I go ahead? The concept of selfless selfishness. And then consistency and committed. So we often want things in life, but we're not consistent or committed enough to get it, or drive and discipline. Or maybe we're struggling with communications, or maybe we are hurt by people, and so how do we heal? Or how do you become the best student in the world in anything? So that's phase 1 and phase 2. There's the economic engine, thinking differently, trust, patience. Then there's phase 3, life vision, passions, and a whole lot more. And then phase 4 is my biggest challenge is me. So the secret about time, I'm overwhelmed, intentionality and discipline, why I choose not to succeed. I love that. And then follow through, and then taking personal ownership. And then there's more that are being developed all the time, family and relationships, help versus healing, multiplication, clone me and others, business, turning my passions into profit. So there's just a boatload here. Does that help, Paul, or not so much?
Yeah, huge. So what you're showing right now, that is in the engineered clarity web area, right?
Right, and so the EC2 helps to guide you through, all the different things, and then your art mentor can help you with that too, and then other people in the, community as well. So there's so much, it's like drinking out of a fire hose.
Yeah, well, I haven't even seen some of that stuff, and I'm in the site doing the video, first 10 videos or whatever.
Cool.
And I didn't even know that stuff is there.
Oh, it's crazy. Alan, questions, thoughts you have?
No, I'm good. It's fascinating.
And what's fascinating about it?
How much stuff there is.
Cool. Beth, questions, thoughts you have?
Nope, it's all out there. You just have to use it.
Nancy, thoughts, questions you have?
So out of everything that you have, Mark, what do you think is the most important thing for someone to first start doing, using?
Great question. Well, the 3-minute survey, the 3-minute survey is really, I think, a good starting point because it's really simple and easy. And so that looks at your personality. I think once you have your 30-minute gift strategy session, that seems to awaken people, say, there's no way. Like, how did they know all of that? And then from there, I think, Nancy, it can go in an infinite number of directions, and that's the thing I love about EC2, is that there's structure, but there's not. Like there's so much creativity in how everything is interconnected. I mean, it's simple. It's people, business, life, people, economic life, and so it's simple. But yet, when you start to go into it, there's so much more. And then, one of the members, Ashley, it was cool, Nancy. I don't know if you got it. Yeah, you did. You read that. And then comment on it. She appreciated that. So, we were on one of the calls, and you said, hey, there ought to be a white paper on expert at messy, and all of a sudden, Ashley wrote that. I've never had anybody do that. Like, it was crazy. And so, people's lives are messy, but then they don't. And so, it's wherever you want to be. Like, do you want help with something easy? Do you want help with, really complex? Do you want to go ahead and, really dive in and go a deep dive? Or do you want to go... So it's whatever people want. I mean, really want. Like, not just say they want, but they really want to do. So do you really want to solve, do you really want to solve a problem? Okay, if you really want to do that, then it's EC2. And so that's the thing, I think, Nancy, that's hard for people is there's, so much there. I forget who, I don't know who said it, but somebody said, if you're not sure what to do something. I like, it's easier to change the direction of a moving car than one that's standing still. So if you only have, like we have 1,440 minutes in a day, all of us do. And so if you only have 5 minutes a day, there's things in EC2 that will help you with that. And I think when people, I was doing a Leader of Leaders coaching session today, and their assignment is they always bring a challenge that they're facing in leadership often, but it could be in any area of life. And one of the new individuals, she's starting her own company, and her biggest challenge was her family. Like, how do you get them whipped into shape so she can actually, start her own company and focus in on that? So I explained to her, I said, when you bring a challenge, a problem, you always bring a solution. Even if you don't think it's going to work, it doesn't matter. You always try to come up. So leaders of leaders, they're not intimidated when they come up with a problem. They've done it for a long time often. And Google doesn't have the answer. Books don't have the answer. Seminars don't have the answer. Shoot, executive coaches don't have it. Consultants, seminars, workshops. Like, nobody's got the answer on the planet, it seems. And so EC2 is helping to build leader of leader quantum thinking to say, hey, I don't have to solve the problem. I just need to be moving in a direction, and I'm going to discover some really cool, exciting things in that creative journey. I don't know if any of that made sense, Nancy. Great question.
Thanks, Mark. Yes, it did. Yeah, in one dimension, it did. Yeah.
Would you like it in a different dimension?
Sure.
Which dimension would you like it? Which other direction?
Well, the next dimension, of course.
Yeah, and dimensions can be parallel. We normally talk about the next dimension, but what about a parallel dimension? Or what about quantum? I don't know how many years it was, Nancy, before you went ahead and at a mastermind seminar event, you discovered your life vision. Do you remember that as well as I do?
Yes, I do, Mark.
And then, I don't know what it was, a year later, whatever it was, when you had the question is, how do you live it? How do you live your life vision daily? Like, I remember that, and that was like, whoa, I'll never forget that. And so, in another dimension, like when somebody, where would you recommend they start? Wherever they want. Well, what do you want to accomplish? Whatever you want to accomplish. What do you want to accomplish? Like, young children have this ability to be creative, and they don't think about wasting time. Like, you don't have, like, I have 3 granddaughters, 2 of them that are 2.5 twins, and the other one that's just a little bit older, and she's 2.5 too. And, those girls, they don't think, oh, I just wasted an hour or 2. I mean, it's so fun to be around them, and so maybe that's another dimension, a quantum level to say, do I have to really find something? Do I really have to accomplish something, or do I just kind of wander around and take a half an hour and just, click on anything in the library and just go through it and then say, what does that mean to me?
So, Mark,
yeah.
piggyback question off of what Nancy was talking about. So, heard life vision a lot. So, in this community, is that top shelf, go figure that out, or build up to get your ducks in a row before you start looking at that? Is it linear, sequential?
Yeah, good question.
Or like you just said.
Right. So right now, and again, this changes all the time, so the order may change, but by and large, it's going to be similar. So the first is the welcome and introduction, and there's a few lessons there to go through. And then there's secret about time, because when you ask people what their biggest challenge is, 1/3 of the people that you ask will say something directly with time. Like, it's time. I don't have enough time. if you ask somebody, like 99% of the people, you ask them what their biggest challenge is, or what they'd love help with. If you ask them, if you had more time, do you think it'd help you solve your problem? Almost everybody is going to say yes. So time, the secret about time is, 1A or A1. And then secret about time is, phase 2. So there's phase 1 and phase 2. And in phase 2, I'm actually doing that one with my granddaughter, Lily. Her mom is on. And so, Katrina, any thoughts you have or anything you'd like to accomplish before we go into, B, section B, which is discover and, my life vision, discover and live my life vision. Do you have any questions or thoughts, anything you'd like to accomplish, Katrina?
Not that I really can think of. I have a question about the life vision one.
Yeah, go ahead.
You want to go into that now? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you create a life vision for a 2-year-old, almost 3-year-old?
Right?
I mean, we kind of already made a passion circle, but, how do you know their life vision? They have a lot of passion, but what is their main life vision?
Right. So, Beth and Paul and Alan and Nancy, have you ever heard a parent ask about a 2.5-year-old's life vision?
I haven't.
I have not.
Nope.
So I mean, that's like the coolest thing. Like not what's my vision for my child. I mean, I think every parent has a vision, and that's okay. But what is that? What has that child been put on this planet to do? So I think the middle of that thumbprint of your passion. So you draw a passion circle or a thumbprint, and then you go ahead and put all their passion. So in the center, of their passion circle is their life vision. So it's like all of our passions connect into our life vision. And so I don't know, as her grandfather, I don't know what it is, but I'm guessing it's something to do with, music and dancing, which growing up very conservative Baptist where we didn't dance, that's just very ironic that it would be. But she's been dancing since she was born. I mean, it's unbelievable how she moves to music. And so where did she get that from? Maybe her dormant grandpa had some dormant, dancing genes or something. I don't know. So you take her passions. So yesterday when she was in the kitchen, it's like, honey, what do you want to be? Do you want to be, an architect? Do you want to be an engineer? Do you want to be an accountant? Do you want to be a doctor? I don't care what she wants to be. I just want to help her to understand that she can be anything she wants to be. Napoleon Hill, whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. I want to wire those synapses where she believes that, but you have to. So she's being exposed to Tom Kuntz and his 5 steps, at the age of, 2.5. So while her brain is developing at such a fast pace, I want to connect those type of belief where she can do anything, but she has to work at it. It's not going to be, just given to her. She has to go ahead and do that. So I want her to go ahead and start her own company ASAP. She could join EC2. She's already putting together videos. She could make money on those videos, and so the rule is in EC2, you can't pay for somebody. So I'd pay for her $20 a month. It's like, oh shoot, I'll pay for her, but I can't. But I can help her earn $20 a month. And so, she could earn $40 a month just in the videos that she does with me. And then she could invest half of that into EC2 and then put the other half into a college fund or, a dance fund or music or whatever. I mean, it's like teaching her to save, at a very young age. I remember probably at the age of 5 or 6, 7, something like that, somehow earning money and then saving money, counting it all up, and then sending it away from Wisconsin to California because we could get like 0.2% more interest out there or something. So I remember those, those things, all those things that my parents, transferred over to me, those experiences at a very young age. And Paul's going to have memories, and Beth's going to have memory, and Nancy and Alan are going to have memories. And so that's where the, Grandpa's Magic Couch comes in, or whatever people want to do. Like, how do we transfer these very powerful things? I mean, kids are just sponges. And so the key is to help her to have the value system, to think properly about things. And the faster we get that in, the better her life is going to be, if that makes sense, Katrina. Great question. Questions on that, Katrina? If you're talking, you're on mute. Okay. Paul?
No, I have no more questions.
Okay. Yep, no worries. Paul, you had a question on life vision?
Correct, but before that, I'd like to just bring up the fascinating conversation we talked about earlier. So as Katrina's talking about, how do I, create a life vision for my 2-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, do you want to take a second and talk about that mind-blowing concept of it starts in the womb? Because I'm not letting that one go. I mean, I can see seminars and, books and videos on how to start a business operating system for your 5-month-old, baby in your belly.
Right.
That was absolutely amazing.
So in the Awesome Women mastermind group that's connected in here, Business Sense for Everyday Mom, Business Sense from Everyday Mom, that's connected into EC2 as well. So we were talking with my second oldest daughter, who's 4 months pregnant, and so she went ahead and gave me a gift of an ultrasound. And now they have, technology. You used to go to the doctors to hear the baby's heartbeat, but now you don't. You just, so she put some, and I could hear the heartbeat. And, she had 2 miscarriages before, so this little one's, very special, and as they all are, but, this one there's a lot that is, and so I believe that, I believe that there could be work that's done where the one in the womb could start their own company ahead of time, before they're born even, and making money, and they could come and be born and already have, I don't think you can get started too soon. So the way I was raised is, in the circles I traveled in, there are families that prayed for their children years before they were ever born. Like before they were ever conceived, they went ahead and had intention with their children and wanted something very special for them, thought about it, planned, had intention, all of those things. All right. Anyone else have anything else before we wrap up here in the Q&A for lesson 1?
Yeah, I was wondering.
Yeah.
So a number of the ladies from our company are planning to come to San Antonio, and of course the company's going to have to pay for it. So I want to know, what do they have to do? What do I need to have them do? What do I need to do? What do we need to do so that it's worth paying for?
Right. So that sounds like an entire, EC2 lesson on that. That is connected back into, I think it's the financial return principle is what it's called. And that sounds like a great lesson to maybe be, taught and recorded on Thursday's session, where we could actually go into that and say, hey, how do you give your company like the most amazing ROI on what they invest into you? And so I think that'd be a great lesson that we could talk about on Thursday, Alan.
Yep.
Cool.
Same thought occurred to me.
Cool. Excellent. Anybody else have anything else? Paul, you had something?
Yeah, I was still trying to drill down on life vision and that process. I mean, I know the circle is involved, so it's...
Yeah, you're just simple. It's 20 minutes. You just draw a circle, list everything around the circle, all your passions. It could be chocolate or playing golf or watching movies or whatever. It doesn't have to be really... You just start listing all of those passions. If you're not sure, ask the people around you and say, what do you think I'm passionate about? And they'll often have a better idea of what your passions are than you do, so you just start listing all of those. Once you get that passion circle, then run that by your EC2 mentor. It's called an ART mentor. We'll get into that in the future, Atomic Ripple Reaction Tree and Team. And so run it by your ART mentor, and they'll help you from all of your passions come up with a first draft of what your life vision is. And so my life vision is to touch every single person in the world, one person at a time, make a huge difference in every aspect of their lives in a fun and exciting way. And yep, that's 7.4 plus billion people. So I've known that since I was 8, and it's like, okay, how do I do that? And so once we discover our life vision, like the pain in our life becomes clear. We're not looking to be helped, we're looking to be healed. We have a perspective where life is bigger than us. When my dad passed away, I said something, and Kevin King, a very near and dear friend to a number of us, I said, and he captured it. I went to caught it. He said, when your life vision is bigger than death, you get over stuff. And so, Kevin has an amazing story too. So you take that first step. Once you get that, Paul, we'll take a look over it and maybe highlight that and talk about it, and then help to accelerate that where you can go ahead and learn to live that life vision. Nancy can give you some feedback on some of the exercises and some of the things that she's done, which are really, really cool, on how to live that life vision every single day. So, again, if you're going through this, you can tell, it's like drinking out of a fire hose. It's so exciting, but it is overwhelmed. You'll get overwhelmed. You'll be overwhelmed, but it's okay because it's a good overwhelm, not a bad overwhelm. Again, if you have any questions on anything connected, that we went through today, talk with your art mentor about it. If for some reason they're not able to, you can talk to anybody in the art tree about it. Talk to the art host or any of the other positions or roles within your art tree. You're able to do that. Or you can call toll-free 888-230-2300. That's 888-230-2300. Or if you're calling in outside the U.S., you can call the U.S.-based number at 630-393-9909. That's 630-393-9909. And always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.